Hello, Starseeds, and welcome to the next episode of Astrology Chats, where we're going to talk all about the elements and how they relate to your astrological sign. I am extremely excited to dive right into this topic because this is where astrology and alchemy actually intersect or intertwine. Because when you look at the elements, which the ancients referred to as the building blocks of life, and if I think of this as a personal trainer, how amino acids are the building blocks of your muscles, the elements make up all matter, all things in our existence. And when you put the four elements together, you get the quintessence, and that quite literally translates to the fifth element, which is also one of my favorite movies. The quintessence can also be known as heart in Captain Planet, and I will have you refer to one of my previous astrology chats in regards to the elements for that reference. But heart, the quintessence, the unspeakable magic that comes out of the four elements being more than the sum of parts. The four elements, for reference before we get into the presentation, are fire, which is represented by the wands. We have earth, which is represented by pentacles in tarot. We have wind, also known as air, and that is represented by swords, the double-edged sword. We'll get into that as well. Water is represented by cups. Each sign corresponds to or is classified to a specific element. So for example, Aries is a fire element. Additionally, what you'll find when you do a birth chart or natal chart reading in astrology is that individuals will have specific elements that are predominant in their chart. And that will assist astrologers such as myself, or when you're doing an analysis of self to determine personality traits or synastry with another individual, looking at elemental spread across the chart is a good thing to kind of look at. So we'll get into all of these fun details in the presentation, all about the elements. So let's get started. Okay, Starseeds, welcome to my astrology chat presentation, all about the elements of astrology. In ancient times, the astrologer was also known as magi. 5 is known as the number of magic because that is what comes through the sum of parts. There are 4 elements of astrology that are the basis of life according to ancient alchemy. In terms of the elements and astrology, let's meet the elements. We have fire first, and the signs that are fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The signs that are represented or are earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. The air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. The water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Now remember, as I mentioned in my astrology chat previously about all of the planetary rulers, that your sun sign is only one piece of the puzzle that is you. Knowing the element of your sun sign is one thing. So for example, myself being a Taurus, I'm an earth sign, and so I'm going to have some personality traits or characteristics that are in common with other earth signs because we're all earth signs. So what we're going to do next in this presentation is we're going to do a deep dive into each of the elements and what these characteristics or personality traits or vibes that come from each of these elements. Now, before I get into a deep dive of each of the elements and their particular characteristics or personality traits, I first wanted to do a slide on alchemy and astrology, especially since myself and Kevin are part of Sacred Soma Alchemy. And alchemy is the process of transformation or transmutation. And when you think of alchemy, you want to also think about the parts that make up trying to create magic. And so when you think of the elements themselves, they also have feminine and masculine traits. The feminine elements are earth and water, and they are sensual and emotional. And the masculine traits are, or rather the masculine elements are, fire and air. And that's more action and intellectual. So as you can kind of see, it's a matter of balance between all of these different energies as opposed to focusing on one being better or worse than the other. So now we're going to do a deep dive of each of the elements. We're going to start with fire, which is also action. Fire signs express the warming, radiating, energizing life principle, which can manifest as enthusiasm, faith, encouragement, and the drive to express self. The qualities are warm and dry. The gender is masculine, as mentioned before. The direction is south. Magical tool is a wand, similar to the tarot sign. The planets are the sun and Mars. If you think about the signs, it's Aries, which is ruled by Mars. You have Leo, which is ruled by the sun, and you have Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter. But air and fire do have a lot in common in terms of their elemental qualities. The season of fire is summer, no surprise there, and the time of day is noon. Next we have the earth element, and this is the sensual element. Earthy people react quietly and slowly. They apply themselves with endurance and emotionally deeply rooted and slow to change. Qualities are cold and dry. The gender is feminine. The direction is north. Magical tool is pentacle, which corresponds to tarot as well. The planets are Saturn and Venus. The zodiac signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. The season of Earth is, interestingly enough, winter. And this, I think, in alchemy, and I'll get into this in a further presentation for the warrior class, Earth is misunderstood, especially that sigil. And finally, the time of day for Earth is midnight. Next, for the elements, we have the element of air, intellect. Airy people are quick and animated. They apply their energies in very diverse ways. They tend to intellectualize their feelings and expectations. The qualities of air elements are warm and moist. The gender is masculine. The direction is east. The magical tool is a sword. Planets are Jupiter and Mercury. The zodiac signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And the season is spring. The time of day for air signs are morning and sunrise. Next, we have water, emotion. Water signs symbolize the cooling and healing principle of sensitivity, feeling response, and empathy with others. The qualities of water elements are cold and moist. The gender is feminine. The direction is west. The magical tool is cup. The planets are Moon and Venus. The zodiac signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. The season for water signs are for fall. And the time of day is sunset. So that concludes my deep dive of the elements of astrology. We went through fire, we went through earth, we went through air, we went through water. Let me know in the comments below what your element is, both your sun sign element and the element that is predominant in your chart. As well, for more magic, and if you want an astrological birth chart reading or synastry reading, please contact us at kevinrachelz@protonmail.com or on our website at sacredsomaalchemy.com. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this astrology chat all about the elements. I hope that you found it informative and useful for your own alchemy in your daily life. Look for a follow-up astrology chat to this one where we're going to talk a little bit about how the elements interplay a lot more with alchemy and transmutation and transformation, which I think everyone will find a little bit interesting and a little bit, I think, useful in the time that we're in right now astrologically. Until next time, Starseeds.